Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are having a good day. Happy opening day as well. We are checking some things out here. Come on, you. What are we doing? What are we going? Where's it at? We are doing a test live stream here to see if we can do what we want to do this weekend. And, okay, looks like we are live. I'm going to sneeze. I apologize. Can feel another one coming. So, all right, here's the game plan of kind of what I'm doing here, what I'm looking at. I've got my tablet down below, phone here that I'm tethered to, because it's actually tethering through from the GoPro to my phone, and then I'm just viewing it on my tablet. So, what's going on? First of all, again, happy opening day. Hopefully the stream and everything is looking well. Kind of treat this as an AMA as well. If you guys have got any questions while you're watching right now, please by all means let me know. And again, I may sneeze again. So here is kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to review this later on too. Is tomorrow I will be heading up to the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, and I now have access to a GoPro 11. And I've been really happy with some of the stuff that I've been able to test out with this. It actually has like a little, it's not a gimbal, but it is a, I apologize, I gotta blow my nose here. This is gonna be gross. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But what I'm gonna do is it has its own like little faux gimbal sort of thing that I can connect the GoPro to, and then I can use my Synco microphones from the video yesterday attached to the GoPro. And then when I do the floor walk on Saturday from the Midwest Gaming Classic, I can use this instead of my cell phone, and I think it will look and sound better. So the problem that I have is if I use my phone, I've got it mounted into my gimbal. Well, this side of the phone is where the USB-C port is, and that's what butts up against the gimbal itself too. And it doesn't allow me to plug the transceiver from the Synco microphone setup into this. Now, in years past, I've actually just used my wireless Raycon headphones. They sound okay, but they're kind of muffled. They kind of sound like what this here does, and this is just the microphone built into the GoPro. But I wanted to have something better for that walk. I also wanted to go ahead and see if it'd be possible for me to stream my panel Saturday morning, and I'm thinking that this is going to work wonderfully. I'm seeing, and this may not be accurate or not, and I know that the audio quality on this, I'm just sitting in my car on my lunch hour right now. The audio quality on this may not be great. I'm hoping that'll be better later on when I actually connect. Well, I know it'll be better when I hook the microphones up. But I'm seeing a couple people kind of hanging out in the chat. If you could just let me know, how does it look? How does it sound on your end? Like I said, I think the microphone is... I did an initial test stream, and it looked okay, but not... Or I'm sorry, it sounded okay, but not great, but I thought it looked fantastic. And I am using 1080p here for the visual output. And again, when I'm looking down, I've just got my tablet right here for me to be able to use kind of as a monitor. The one concern that I do have is whether or not the GoPro battery will last for the whole floor walk. All right. LDG is in here. Hey, Philip, how you doing? Audio sounds great. See, to me, it just sounded hollow. And part of that is because I'm in a car. Here, if I open it up, you can probably see, you might hear, a little bit of the wind in the background, but you hear how it loses some of the, it's not echo, but it's like, it's trapping the sound waves inside of the car. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that this'll work well. I'm gonna just turn up my volume here for a second. The wind in the background, but you hear how it... Yeah, I can hear. I agree. Looks great. 1080 sounds okay. Yeah, and that's... Hey, thanks, Brad, by the way. Yeah, and that's kind of what I figured this would be, that it would sound okay, but it would look really, really good. The other thing that I'm excited about too was initially the way, and I've been screwing around with this for, I started last night and kind of putzed around with it, is I'm tethered to my phone for a Wi-Fi network, and that's what's actually streaming. So I didn't know how that connection would work. Now for me too, the other thing that's that I'm excited about for getting to the show in Milwaukee. A, they'll have Wi-Fi there if I decide to pay for it. B, Milwaukee has 5G for Verizon, which is what I'm on. I'm in 4G here, so if this is looking this sharp and I'm not seeing any buffering or anything on the stream, let me know again if there's any buffering there. But I'm seeing everything being really, really, it looks good. It's crisp. I'm not getting any artifacting. And I'm also on a cellular tablet here too, so I'm actually very happy with how this looks. Does this have too much of a fisheye, I guess would be my other question, because it is a GoPro, and that's one of the things that they're kind of known for, is that fisheye lens that I've never really been a huge fan of. Let me know what you're seeing on your end. If this, like, if I streamed with this, would this camera be sufficient? Otherwise, if not, I can go ahead and I can just stream from my phone. Now, one thing that this won't do that my phone will do is, as I'm walking around, I can switch from the back camera, which is what I would normally be using, to the front camera, so that way you guys could see my face and everything. That might be a good thing, that might be a bad thing. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here, and I'm thinking this will work for what I need to do Saturday morning. And I think that's enough questions for me. If you guys have got any questions before we end things, this is not going to be a very long stream. I just wanted to test this out and see what it would look like. Thanks, Leo. Haven't seen you here before. Welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. And again, today is opening day. Let's hope the Brewers crush the crappy Cubs down in Chicago. Actually, growing up in Milwaukee my whole life, it's always been down in Chicago, when actually now it's about 2 hours north of me. So, yeah, looking forward to hopefully for a Brewers W today. Yeah, anyone have any questions before I kind of wrap things up? I'm going to head back to the office here after eating my lunch, but I'm pretty happy. Got a new camera and gimbal, by the way. Thanks for the help. What'd you end up going with? Did you go with the T7i, or what'd you go with? And thankfully that was a truck that went behind me and not a van that said free candy on back. You know what, Garrett? Here's what I'll give you. I'll give you your Cardinals, just as long as you agree with me, as long as it's not the Cubs. ABC, anyone but Chicago. And I do think the Cardinals are going to win the division. I put my numbers out on Twitter the other day. I think I had the the Cardinals at 89 wins to win the division. Second place, S23 Ultra. I'm using an S22 Ultra, so great phone. Cardinals with 89 wins. I had the Cubs at 82 wins, so just barely a winning season. I had the Brewers in third at 71, 72, 73 wins. And then had the Pirates below them, and the Reds with 100 lost seasons. So that's kind of what what I'm looking at. And Garrett, good for you. I completely agree with that sentiment. Scott, no. You do realize what Cubs stands for, don't you? Completely useless by spring. Okay, Scott, I will let you off the hook there. But all right. WrestleMania coming up this weekend, so I'm going to talk about this now, and because Phil brought this up. You guys know, or maybe you don't know, I'm actually a part of the YouTube partner program on the shorts creator side of things. So I actually get opportunity to do a lot of things with YouTube. They've sent me stuff in the past. For a channel my size, and 20,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but in the greater scheme of things, they ain't nothing. Well, they had put out at the beginning of the month an invite for shorts creators, to sign up to get tickets to go to WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. But you had to pay for your own travel and own hotel. And I'm like, you know what? How often am I going to get a chance to say I got to go to WrestleMania and it's in Hollywood? So I put my name in. I was hoping against hope, and I didn't get selected, which is kind of a bummer. So It'll be interesting to see if they actually take the strap off of Roman and give it to Cody. I wonder if Cody's still 100% from that pec tear, because that was nasty. Camera looks good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Above and beyond that, the card for this year's WrestleMania, like it's going to be a Haas fight between Walter and Sheamus and Drew. That's just going to be big, burly, beefy men beating the hell out of each other. I have no interest whatsoever in Damage Control versus the tag champions and Trish Stratus. And quite honestly, I haven't really kept up with a lot of the other. Who is Seth Rollins? Oh, what's his name? The YouTuber guy, Logan Paul. Logan Paul is going over. I'm telling you that right now. Now that people know that, you can see his footwork in the ring. It's like, yeah, he's compensating. You can see that he is still very protective of that injury to the right arm. It'll be interesting. He had a match. It did? Yeah, I just noticed that kind of buffered out. Well, that was the first issue. But I think, because Cody had a match on SmackDown against Solo Sikoa, too, so, all right. Well, if that's the only buffer that I've seen, and if that's what it is, and again, I'm on 4G, and I've got 3 out of 5 bars, so it's not the greatest, but I'll just be, completely transparent here. So I get, that's the screen that I'm seeing. All good, Scott. I appreciate that. The stream health never dropped, so I don't know what that issue was. But yeah, overall, I think this will work. Excuse me. So my thought process is this. So I'm driving up. I'm taking tomorrow off of work. I'm going to drive up to Milwaukee for the Midwest Gaming Classic. I know I'm meeting up with Jay from Square Pegs, Chris from Game Dad, Thor from Hey It's Thor, and I think we're going to try to hook up with Ryan Schlemmer from WrestleMania Games, Rondo Products, and John Riggs, and we're probably going to go to my old hometown, my hometown, where I grew up, and we're going to go out for Italian tomorrow night, and then there's a barcade right down the road that we're going to hit, and my goal is to be at the hall on Saturday. My daughter Cassie and her boyfriend Jeffrey are coming to hang out too, which will be fun. Okay, that's not what that was a notification, so all right, no issues there. Yeah, WrestleMania Games. Ryan is a good friend. Glad that I'll be there. I'm bringing some gifts. I'm bringing some LED light signs for Rondo Products, for a couple other people as well that don't know that they're coming. So yeah. Let's see, before we wrap things up, what am I going to be looking for? There is a GBA game that has I'm on a kick for Mighty, let me say this again. Mighty Final Fight. There we go. It is the arcade mini classics or something like that. I'm on the lookout for that. If I can get a good deal on a 2DS, the new 2DS, not the Slate one. What time is my panel? It's either 10 to 10:30 or 10:30 to 11. It's one of the two. Holy crap, I just realized I've only got half an hour on that panel too, I think. Check out Midwest Gaming Classics Twitter. They put that out yesterday. I think it was them. Otherwise, check out John Riggs. I know he tweeted it out too. But it's Saturday morning. I want to do a floor walk before the show opens, and that's what I'm going to do this with. I'm going to stream the panel as well. I'm going to see if I can use StreamYard to do that, because that way I could, and I'm just going to bring my tablet. I'm not bringing my laptop with me. But I'm going to try to go ahead, and that way I can share screen and then have you all see me on camera yet too. So hopefully that works. I think I can share a window on Android to StreamYard, but I will find that out later tonight. And then from there, I'm going to help Ryan out in his booth as much as I can. I've got to go see the guys over at Songbird because they have a controller adapter for the new one that I'm going to end up picking up. What else am I looking for? You know, I've been so busy lately, there isn't a whole lot that, like, it's like, oh, I need to make sure I get this. Yeah, I think that's the main thing that I'm really looking for, a game. And if I find it, great. And if I don't, you know, no big deal. So, this will be the 2-minute warning. We're out of here in 2 minutes. If anyone's got any other questions, comments, concerns, we'll go ahead and, you know, address that here. But in the meantime, thanks everybody for the feedback here during the test. I really do appreciate it. I'll probably do a test tomorrow night, quite honestly, just testing out the microphones and everything, making sure that audio is coming. It is not, Brad, it is not technically a CastleManiaGames.com booth. It's a Rondo Products booth. So he's going to have, I talked to Ryan last night, I think he said he's going to have a G-SCART or G-SCUMP, I think it's the component video switcher he's going to have there, a bunch of the other mod kits and everything. They've teamed up with Gamebox Systems, I think that's what it is, for the HDMI adapter or HDMI mod kit for the N64. Can I show the Rush Pinball Pro Topper? Yeah, so is that Korg Hill? I will be doing, in addition to like the floor walk, I'm going to have my regular camera with me too, and we're actually going to do like a proper recap video from MGC. So, yeah, and I will tell you, I'm a huge fan of Rush myself. Next to Les Claypool, Geddy Lee is probably my favorite bassist of all time. But watching Claypool on his six-string fretless